It's become a really beautiful place where people can share thoughts and perspectives, and also share their trauma and their hurt, and hopefully experience some healing from it. My name is Tim Whitaker, and I am the creator of the New Evangelicals. I had a pretty typical evangelical upbringing. I was homeschooled for 9 years. I grew up in a fundamentalist church that then was kind of more reformed in their theology. So I had a great home life. My parents were great people, but we were at church whenever the doors were open. So even though I wasn't a pastor's kid, I was there as often as the pastor was. When I was around 28, I hit a really intense season of just panic attacks and depression and anxiety. Kind of came out of nowhere. And that really forced me to start doing even deeper work and thinking about the theological views I grew up with. And that's what led me to what a lot of us call deconstruction. Earlier this year, I was in a position of a drummer on a worship team, and also like a volunteer leader, so very involved in some of the decision making and helping to make the Sunday morning event happen. I also was part of a leadership team that ran a multi-church worship night, and I helped really kind of grow that over the past several years. That was my circle. Those were my friends, people I was doing my life with. Shortly after New Evangelicals started, they said, listen, we love you, but you're causing a problem because people are talking about this. Therefore, either change what you're doing on social media and keep your thoughts to yourself, essentially, or step down from what you've been doing for 6 years with us. I was pretty surprised when the ultimatum was given. There's a lot of relationships that were created, and they were all ended, well, I should say most of them were ended pretty abruptly. And so I'm still working through that, to be honest. I think a lot of us have realized that in the evangelical institution, the beliefs are what keep you together. So once certain beliefs that the church deems problematic start to surface from you, all of a sudden, whatever relationships you had or you formed with them are secondary to the beliefs being correct. And for me, I'm just not wired that way. I view church as beautiful when you have unity in diversity of thought. You need the different perspectives to help work through the Christian tradition. We want to make the church better. That's why we're having this conversation. We're not here to tear the church down. We're here to reform it and to call it to repentance, which is a very Christ-like thing to do. The New Evangelicals is really, it's like a living conversation. It's a living dialogue that's happening right now with all kinds of people from all different backgrounds and all different ethnicities, all different cultural contexts. And we sit and we all listen to each other and say, I never thought about that before. I need to sit with this. And then we share our perspective. So we're not debating. It's not about who is more right or who is more wrong. It's about listening and realizing that the world is bigger than you and your particular heritage. And that's actually a beautiful thing. We want to see a church that is healing people, that is hope to the world, and not a church that is damaging people. And the unfortunate truth is the American evangelical institution, it's hurting a lot of people. And we have to be willing to recognize that and to start changing things. One of the ways that we want to do that is by having these conversations in a more public light. We want to have conversations that the church absolutely needs to hear from people inside the church who have experienced things that maybe the institutional, body is either ignorantly neglecting or is just willfully neglecting. And we have to bring those stories to light. We really believe that story is the best way to share the change that needs to happen in the evangelical church. The New Evangelicals has honestly been such a breath of fresh air, even in my own life. Knowing that I'm not alone in my doubts and struggles, it is incredibly life-giving to me. It's also amazing to hear these stories from people daily about how this community is helping them in their faith journey and also helping to heal them. It's honestly rocky fuel for me, and it makes you want to keep pushing the New Evangelicals forward. The future of the New Evangelicals is bright, and there is definitely work to be done. We believe that the most powerful communication tool is storytelling, and that the best way to create and share stories is within a community. That's why we are committed to creating a space where we can share our life experiences and learn from each other by adding more seats to the table. So as we grow, our expenses and overhead are growing with it. So we put together a monthly operating budget that, when funded, will allow us to take care of expenses and also new community projects. Here's how the budget breaks down. First, we want to form a nonprofit. This will allow us to be a recognized legal entity and will make your donations tax deductible, which is always a good thing. Second, this will allow us to pay for overhead such as digital subscriptions, website hosting, and graphic design. Third, this budget will include a salary for me so I can feed my family and pour all of my time and love into this community. And fourth, this funding will allow us to produce our first episode in an upcoming docu-series called Community Conversations. This is a game changer, and I am ecstatic to share more. Friends, I know so many of us have giving trauma, and I am one of those people. And I do feel awkward sharing our needs, but honesty and transparency are core to who we are, and this is the current need we have to build the new Evangelicals community. The future is bright, there is work to be done, and we need the funding to do it. Let's push the church forward together.